Hey everyone, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video I want to show you how you can work with the journal cards that I share as freebies on my blog MistyHilltops.com, and I'm going to give you a lot of ways of how you can use these cards and make the most of them. So the first thing after you open the cards is, or the file is, I would recommend that you copy and paste the whole thing into a new document. So I do that by just selecting everything, and then there's a new document that I'm opening up, and I'm just going to copy it right into here because I don't want to lose the original file, and in case I want to reuse them or something. So in order to avoid losing the original, I just usually work with a copy. And so here is the copied part, and now you see I have these 4 cards here, and each card is grouped individually. So you can see here when I click on a card, and then it will select the individually grouped card. Now you cannot just click in an empty spot here, because these are, at this point, they're transparent. That is, they're not filled with any color. So if I pull it out here, you can see that. And so I have done it on purpose because it makes these cards even more customizable for you. So another thing is, you can just select a card. If you don't want to print all cards at the same time and you just need one card, you can just remove all the other cards and just work with the one card that you want to work with by either copying and pasting it into another document, or by deleting the ones from this document that is hopefully just a copy, not the original. And so that means you don't have to just print the whole thing if you know you're not going to use the whole thing. And so that saves you paper, it saves you print ink and all that. Then the next thing I want to show you is how you can customize things, and this is true for each of these cards that are in here. So they're usually grouped, and so the first thing you obviously will have to do if you want to modify these cards is you have to ungroup them. Now if you just want to just print them, just go ahead and do that. They are fine as is, just with the black and white. But if you want to customize them to fit your project, then you can ungroup a card, and then you can do a whole lot of different things to these cards. For one, you can give the background a new color. Now you can either drag and drop your new card, a paper from a digital paper or something, and fill your card this way. Or you can just, like what I do here, I just go to the color fill and I fill it with color. Now what you see when you fill it with color is that everything else seems to disappear, but no worries. Everything is still there. You just need to send this part to the back, okay? And then the other parts will show up again. It's sometimes when I group things, then it rearranges the order of the levels. And so that's something to keep in mind. Now what I don't recommend is that you go ahead and take a grouped card and you recolor that card, because as a whole, because what will happen is now everything is colored in that way, and that means all the writing, everything, all the lines is colored in that way, and I don't recommend you do that. So the most important thing that you need to do first is ungroup things, and then individually select what you want to modify and recolor. So here I gave the background a new color, but you can also select the individual parts. So here I have the word September, the letter S, and then I'm also going to try and to select this part. So you can give everything a new color from at the same time, or you can give everything a different color. You can choose to have one of these things to have one color and the other thing to have another color. For example, if I want to give the S a different color than the September, I can do that. Now you have to pay attention obviously when you recolor that you choose colors that have enough contrast. Now keep in mind when you recolor things, there is two places in Silhouette where you can recolor things. If it's something like an element or a piece of word art, like a title, something written, some word, then you will need to use the color palette or the color fill tool in the Silhouette. But if you want to recolor the lines in Silhouette of a card, and you see there are lots of lines in some of the cards. Some of the cards, like this one, has few lines, but if you want to recolor the lines, you need to go to the line part or the line tool in Silhouette, and then you can choose a new color. Now I can choose a new color, but the lines are so thin for this, you will not really be able to see. Now another thing for you to keep in mind is that I gave the card, the background, basically, I gave that a black outline. Okay, however, this outline is, I set the thickness to 0. That means the outline, if you print from Silhouette, the outline will not be printed. If the thickness is set to 0, then the outline will not be printed. The only time when the outline starts to be printed is if you choose a thickness anything other than 0. So a value of 0.25 or something, right? 0.25. That could be where this will be printed. So if you want to cut things by hand, I do recommend that you first give it a different thickness for the outline of the card. If you want your Silhouette to cut it, then you don't need to do anything. It's set to where only the outline will cut. You can see that. I go to send, and you can see that only the outline has the red line sent mark where Silhouette is going to cut, and my computer is extremely slow at the moment, so it takes a moment for it to show. So you see none of the writing, none of the lines have the red line, and that means these are not going to be cut, only the outline. So if you want to just use the print and cut with the Silhouette, you don't need to do anything, you can just go ahead and cut. But if you want to just use an individual card, or will just want to cut it by hand or with your trimmer, then I highly recommend that you give it an outline of a different thickness. Okay, now this is as far as recoloring things and using that. You can also resize a card. Okay, you can resize a card by eyeballing it. I just used one of these cards, actually this very card, in a project just earlier today, and I wanted it to be smaller, and so I just copied it into the new project that I was working on, and then resized it for what I needed it to be in the project. So here's the project where it's definitely resized. You can see if I go back here and I copy this card and I pull it into the other document here, then you can see that it is definitely a different size. It would copy, here we go, right? So I resized this card to fit the need of this this page that I created. However, you can also just resize things by going to the scale tool, and the scale tool here, you can give it a precise size that you want it to be. Now if you want to use the scale tool, make sure that it's locked so that whatever is being resized is resized in proportion and not being skewed. If you have it unlocked, only one value will change. So say I want to give this a new value of, say, 6 centimeters. And if I have it locked, then the other value will change automatically to 8 centimeters. Okay, I don't need to do anything. But if you don't have it locked, then this will become a problem, because then only one part will be resized and the other side will stay the old way. So when you resize, make sure you lock it. So these are the ways of how you can use these cards. I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.